45 is an embarrassment. I can't deal with this temperament. He is so arrogant. I have so much resentment. It just makes me want to scream. How do people think MAGA is the American dream? Let's start the stream.
Man, it is man.
I'm completely unhinged. My rights have been infringed. That man makes me so upset. He's a Nazi and a world threat. I'm completely unhinged. My life has been sent. All his interviews I've been. We need to impeach now. Impeach him now.
John, you're a little controversial. You're talking about illegal immigration. I said it's illegal.
Get out! Oh, help your customer. Fuck off! Fuck off!
I'm completely unhinged.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Unhinged, where we are ripping on the people that are unhinged, the liberals, the leftists, the commies, and what's going on with the midterms and the great gerrymander war. Fucking, it's really on both sides. It's just cheating. Like, we really shouldn't be having it, or it should be extremely limited. It should be more rare, but it just seems like both sides are going to do whatever the fuck it takes to gerrymander the shit out of the states. And if the Democrats are doing it, then the Republicans just got to do it better. So, like, I think, like, both should not do it, but if it exists, like, we just got to do it fucking better than them. They can go fuck themselves. I don't care how ridiculous it is. As long as everyone's doing it. What's up, Grizzy? And because, we're not supposed to do good in the midterms. We're supposed to lose. I don't know, was it lose the House and the Senate, or just lose the House? But, if we gerrymander the shit out of everything, maybe we won't lose the House.
I'll put the system on trial.
Putting the fucking system on trial. Yeah, like, that's bullshit. Racial districting, and, like, we're the racist party. Fuck, man. Like, they haven't figured out that if anyone hates other races, it's the Democrats. Like, they haven't figured that out yet. They literally think black people are too fucking stupid to vote, to get an ID and vote. And if you can't get a government ID, then I don't think you should be voting. If you're that fucking stupid, I don't think you should be voting. I don't care who you're voting for. If you can't do something like that, you shouldn't be allowed to vote. And I wouldn't mind extending that further. To make sure retards don't vote. So has anything developed with that? Are they bought and paid for? Has that been proven? Or is it still speculation? Like, they left the country. Was that a coincidence? They're back now? I don't know. Like, Candace Owens, I've tuned basically everything out from her. It's all fucking nonsense. I hope she gets sued. Macron's wife being a man, I think, is really funny. Either way on that one, I'll be happy with the result. Either it's proven she's a man, or Candace gets sued and loses. I just don't think you should be able to make millions of dollars off of being a fucking fraud like that. So I hope she gets what's coming to her. And Nick Fuentes, he's like all over the place on what he's doing. He's saying he wants to vote he wants to vote Democrat in 2028. He is literally acting like a Democrat, and now he's saying, "Oh, maybe we can get an America First candidate for 2028." So, like, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. That video was pretty good. I'll give him that. Some good shit. Candace is a fucking psycho, man. She's probably one of the aliens, man. The one casualty of all this, though, Alex Jones, like literally acting like a liberal, which is insane. And I don't know what's going on with InfoWars. I thought it was done. I thought it was bought. And now it's like it's not again. Like he still has control of it. Seems like it.
Just, he wants to be a tough guy. A lot of times you'll have, and it doesn't work very well.
How old is Jeb Bush now? Is he too old for 2028? Can you imagine? Alex is hitting the bottle hard these days. Like, out of all the people that are crying about Trump, maybe I'll take his opinion the most serious, but they're all sounding like fucking liberals to me. Qatar Carlson, Fuentes, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones. And I say it like every stream, like how close were we to being completely fucked with another Biden term, a Kamala Harris presidency? Country would be fucked. Oh, that'd be a comeback story. Yeah, they were fucking goated. Fucking Trump comes in. You're not going to insult your way to the presidency. And he insulted his way to the presidency, and he's still insulting people, which is great. I think it's awesome. They're like, oh, the president is supposed to act a certain way. Yeah, like all fake. Like a fucking puppet. No, I want the guy who insults everyone and says like, and it's like, America's not going to be taken advantage anymore. We got really stupid leaders. We're going to make great deals. I want America to make great deals. It's like they're still saying that. It seems like the never Trumpers have never gone away. They've just been kind of quiet. And I just think it's too late to be a never Trumper. Just like shut the fuck up. 2028, you'll get a new candidate most likely, unless Trump pulls something. And you get your bullshit candidate then. Yeah, you were staged. Why is it every time there's some sort of shooting, it's like they blame a Republican? The assassination attempts were staged. Like, I thought we were supposed to be the conspiracy theorist party. It's an unhinged leftist that is pushing the same propaganda that Trump's a PDF file, Epstein files, Has he read the Epstein files? Can he point to me specifically where it says that he is? Where it's actual proof? No, they can't. Their brains don't work. They just know Epstein, he's in the files, and maybe like they're aware of like one of the fake claims that he is. And that's enough for them. That's enough for them to roll with the mental gymnastics for their bubble world that they live in. And we have to put up with that shit. And someone like that in their fantasy world where Trump's a PDF file had to act on that, and look what happened. Never Trumpers are never winners, and that guy clearly didn't win. I don't know what he was planning, but it was a pretty bad plan. Like a pretty fucking bad plan. Trump knows the art of the deal. Kamala has never made a deal in her life. Like, she's flat out retarded. Flat out fucking retarded. It's amazing that she was even put in that position. And that is an example of DEI hires. She was put on the ticket with Biden because people are like, oh, black person, white and black person. But really, she's Indian and Jamaican. So we just forget that she's Indian. Like, no one even talks about that. She's black. And then they literally tried to throw Biden out there for that second term. They literally tried to do it. And you know why? They knew he was fucked up. They just loved the puppet regime. They just thought he could pass off, they could pass him off in the debates. Maybe he'll win. And that's what they wanted to do. But they got exposed. And to this day, you have Democrats whining and crying about Trump and how he's old, pointing out every little thing he does to like get back at us for ripping on Biden for 4 years. And it was all justified with Biden. Biden was a joke. And I get it, Trump is old, but like, you know, they're doing it to like get back at us. Be like, oh, well, Trump's not fit to be president. And if you think Trump is not fit to be president, like he's fallen asleep, he's got like bruises on his arm, where was that same energy with Biden? So like we can have that conversation. Okay, you think Trump's too old? All right, what were you saying when Biden was president? Oh, you weren't saying anything? And it's like, show me all the times Trump is sleeping or it looks like he's got a medical issue. But it's like, do you know his schedule? He's like always like out and doing shit at that age. Like most like 20-year-olds are taking naps. Play some video games and take another nap. And some of them might be in better shape. They go to the gym, but it's like, do they have that energy? That life force? No. Call him old all you want. He's got a lot of energy. And it's just like some people I just think are born with it. It clearly, yeah, I saw it in 2019. He was not fit to be president, and it's not because I didn't like him. He's clearly not fit. He's had some sort of dementia, and then clearly during his presidency, it was getting worse, and he should have been removed from office. It was that bad. But they love the auto pen. Yeah, you gotta stay active. Some people, their mind stays sharp. Others, it just goes to shit. Oh, yeah. And, like, what's going on with that? Like, what's going on with that shit? Is he, like, gonna die, or is he getting better from it?
If we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare.
Oh, fucking disaster debate. Absolute disaster. God, Star Wars Marvel purist in the fucking chat, man. So, I don't know. The midterms, we just got to gerrymander as much as possible. We got to fucking do it. We can't lose, man. If you don't vote Biden, you ain't black. Yeah, man. Like, I don't like AOC. I don't like Kamal. I don't like any of these people. I don't like Harry Sisson. But no one should be going out in public and, like, fearing for their life because you're triggered by them. And those people need to be locked up. All the unhinged crazies, and they're all on the other side. They're all fucking communists. He was pretty bad, man. He was pretty bad. So sick of them bringing up Epstein stuff. It's just speculation. If they can prove Trump did anything with people like Clinton, verified Epstein victims, named him. Yeah, those files have been out, and it's like, we haven't heard really anything about it. Like, no one's been arrested. I think that's why I don't think Trump handled it well, but I think that's why he was hesitant to release it, because he probably felt like there wasn't really much there. But there was, like, his name all over it, and he knew the Democrats were just gonna, like, run with that. It was kind of like a lose-lose. But I think it's good it's out there. I think people just need to be smarter with what they read on the internet. Like, when I learned in school, as I was growing up, like, the internet was becoming bigger and bigger. I was taught in school at a very young age to not trust shit you read on the internet. Like, double source, and make sure it's valid. People don't do that today. They see one headline, one picture, and they just assume it's real. And then you tell them, hey, no, bro, it's fake. And they're like, no, it's not. It's not fake. Especially if they hate the person, they're going to assume it's real. And then you could be like, all right, here's a 3-hour video explaining in detail why it's fake and why you're a fucking idiot. You need to check this out. They'll be like, no, that video's fake. Like, that's what we're dealing with here. Or one of their stupid friends will be like, yeah, I watched the video and they really didn't. And they'll be like, it doesn't really confirm anything. And people are dumb. And I'm getting tired of seeing fake shit. Like people on Twitter with fake headlines. I'm getting really tired of it. Like, they think it's funny, or they, like, think they're going to get engagement from it and get the Twitter dollars. For example, like UFC fights, like someone announcing it, It's like, oh, good one, bro. I don't want to take in a fuckload of fake news and then have to like figure out in my head or actually do research, be like, is this true? It's a waste of time. Oh yeah. It's the well, Diz Nuggets is he knows it's fake. He's a fucking retard. But someone like Gramuglia and just the leftists that I deal with on the Star Wars channel, it's like they are just gonna believe what they want to believe with their safe space. And and that is a sign of low IQ. And there's like nothing you can do about it. And really, it's just best to not care what they think. Like you can't change people's perceptions of you, especially if they're retarded. So you just got to trigger them. That's what you can do. Nobody's getting arrested because they'll get away with it if they're taken to court. Bill Clinton has already gotten away with sexual assault. It won't be any different here. It's just he said, she said. Unfortunately. What about Ilhan Omar? I want to see her fucking get arrested or deported or thrown out of Congress. And I want to see a lot of these people get thrown out of Congress and shamed, jail time. Like, how are they all millionaires? Our government's fucked up. That's the swamp we should be draining. It's like they just figured out Elon Omar made millions off like a fake company. So why isn't anything being done with that? The official files are all there for people to read. That is true. A lot of people are talking shit about them and haven't spent even 5 minutes looking into and actually reading the files that are there to read. That is correct. I'm one of those people where I really haven't taken time to read the shit. I'm kind of just going off of if there was anything really good in there, someone would have found it already, someone would have used AI. The stuff that is in there that's worth talking about has been proven to be fake, like all the Trump stuff. But I'm sure if you dig a bit, like you'll find some like really bad shit, like with Bill Gates. It sucks. Nice. More people need to get fucking locked up. It could be the two parties just run everything. We have a shadow government. And if that's the case, why does the left have to be so fucking insane? Yeah, definitely Epstein was killed. 100%. Either killed or he's alive somewhere.
So uncivilized.
Bill Gates is a real Bond villain. When the Daily Woo died, we didn't make fun of him for it. That's what makes us different. Well, maybe if it was fake Kyle. Daily Woo. I mean, I didn't really know him, but it's, he was a shill, but it was tragic. He's young. And even though he was a shill, probably a leftist, it's like probably didn't really go out of his way to be a piece of shit like some people. But I don't, I'm like talking on the Star Wars channel, people that I talk about if something happened to them, I don't know how I'd react to it. I don't think I would be gloating. I might say some assholish shit, but I don't think I will gloat about it. I don't think I'll be over the top with it. Cause yeah, no one really deserves anything like that. But, you go to the other side, they want us all fucking dead. Sticking with the Star Wars stuff, like, everyone's talking about Gina Carano and how she compared the wearing masks to Nazis, and it's like the Democrats, all they fucking talk about is Trump being a Nazi, everyone on Twitter being a Nazi, Elon's a Nazi. Like, how is that not insensitive to the Holocaust and people that actually suffered from the Nazis? Like, I don't understand it. It's okay when they say it, and they all like repeat that like a robot. Oh, Gina said this about the Holocaust. Oh my God. They all fucking talk about Hitler and Nazis. All of them. Both of them too, calling everyone Nazis. So it's like, why do they have a problem with her and not a problem with what they're saying? And we got a good group over on Rumble. Yeah, they're all on his platform. Some of them pay for the blue checks. And I want to make a video about the Star Wars celebration that's going to be in LA. That is held, the parent company is Reed Pop, or it's being held by Reed Pop, and I think their parent company has contracts with ICE. So that was like a kind of a big thing. It was going around. Now they've all like forgotten about it and accepted Reed Pop's statement. Like, oh, we're not collecting your information. But the point is they are linked with ICE. They have contracts with ICE. But like they don't care. If it invades what they want to do, then they don't give a shit. Yeah, like this gerrymandering stuff, I don't agree with it on any of the sides. Like, it just shouldn't be happening. But they are clearly cheating, and so the Republicans need to fucking cheat and just do it better. Fuck them. Make everything red in the state of Florida, Alabama. I think those racial districts are fucking bullshit. I'm glad the Supreme Court shot that down. I'm sure what's her name? Amy Coney, liberal. I'm sure she voted with the Democrats on that. Well, they do. They worship Satan. Whether it's like a godlike Satan or just like Satanism, it's like they are all about Satan. Gotta do it, man. Especially now. I don't want to lose the house. I can't stand her. Can't stand her. One of Trump's biggest, worst moments of his presidency. One of them. Fucking, she's a liberal. Oh yeah, like shoot people. That's what they're gonna do. I just think it makes them look worse. Like, I just think, even if they were successful with Trump in 2024, I just think it would have made him look worse. And I don't think they would have won. But they'll do anything to just keep him out of the picture for those 4 years. Exactly. Oh, Gina compared the mask to the Holocaust. They're just reducing Nazi to something meaningless, just like they reduce racism, sexism, and you know what? The new thing they're doing that they're reducing the meaning for, and this is probably deliberate, is pedophile. Everyone's a pedophile now, and it's going to lose its meaning just like the other terms. Maybe not exactly, because it's like a really disgusting term, but they are devaluing it because literally everyone they call by that term. And I don't know where it goes from there. Like, maybe like rapist, murderer. Because like, being called a racist and Nazi, it's like, that's meaningless. No one cares. Yeah, man. They can complain about Trump all they want. I will vote for the party that believes in two genders. Yeah, and I find that they are obsessed with that topic. Like, they are obsessed, like, with the Epstein files and just, like, calling people that. Like, there is, like, a weird obsession, and I do think it's projection. I mean, not, like, fully, but, like, to some level it is for a lot of them. Exactly. It's considered a bigoted opinion to not want grown men wearing bras in front of kids. It's it's just fucking disgusting. The bottom line is, like, these people that are online, like, it's getting bad out there. I don't consider them people anymore. Maybe, like, I think they should have, like, the basic human rights and the law should apply to them, but as for interacting with them, I just don't consider them human anymore. And you know what? Like, they don't consider me human, and they think actually much worse. See, I don't think they should be deplatformed, locked up, and killed, but like they do for me, and I know that for a fact. And if like if they had the power to do it with like the snap of the fingers, I don't know how many would, But if it was done, they would definitely be happy about it. Well, he was wrongfully locked up for the rest of his life. Well, he deserved it because he triggered me about Star Wars. That's the kind of people we're dealing with. Yeah, like Biden was literally sniffing children. Literally, like, though that video is disturbing. And it's beyond an old man, like, being super nice to kids. He's being a fucking creep. Like someone who's experienced. And shame on those parents for not realizing what he was doing to those kids. Oh yeah, they're still like gloating about it. They're still happy that it happened. I don't like Harry Sisson. I think he is a giant piece of shit. I think he's a liar. I think he's a Democrat shill. But it's like killing people in public is not the answer. And Harry Sisson is not someone that was on a college campus like having debates with people. Harry Sisson's just a fucking paid shill who like pretends to work out, does gay dance videos, and posts misinformation. So I don't want to see any violence towards the left. I think it just makes us look bad. I think it's kind of treat people how you want to be treated. It's like you don't want them to kill you, so like we shouldn't kill them. Like I think we could have that understanding. Rip Charlie Kirk. Definitely. Fucking Biden, man. Showering with his daughter. Hunter Biden, that story got suppressed. I wanted to check out Trump's 60 Minutes interview, the extended interview.
60 Minutes overtime.
Mr. President, thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
I'm glad you are safe. I am glad that everyone is safe. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It was quite an evening. It was a very difficult thing to watch, frankly, but doing very well.
Mr. President, do you know if you were the target of the gunman?
I don't know. It sounded to me, I read a manifesto.
Wasn't it clear in the manifesto that he was the target?
He's radicalized. He was a Christian, a believer, and then he became an anti-Christian, and he had a lot of change. He's been going through a lot based on what he wrote. His brother complained about him, and I think reported him to the police, and his sister likewise complained about him. His family was very concerned. He was probably a pretty sick guy.
And I want to get to all of those details and also walk through this, what happened last night. But first, this appears to be the third attempted assassination on your life. The first in Butler, the second, of course, on the golf course in Florida. Why do you think so many people may be trying to kill you?
So I've said it, and I've said it numerous times, and I've actually, because of the position I'm in, I've done quite a bit of research into the word assassination, terrible word. And they go after consequential presidents. They go after presidents that do things. If you look at what I've done, we've turned this country around. We've taken a country that was actually a dead country. It was dying very rapidly, and it's the hottest country anywhere in the world. We had a skirmish, a war, whatever you want to call it, with Venezuela. We won that very decisively, and we now have a great relationship with Venezuela. It's been a very profitable relationship, and we're in Iran right now. Other presidents should have done it, but they never chose to do it. They should have. They made a terrible mistake by not doing it. It's tougher now than it would have been 10 years ago or even 5 years ago because they had thousands and thousands of missiles and everything.
Yeah, just because they probably agree with them. I think these liberal judges.
If we didn't do the B-2 bomber attack, that alone was a big deal. The killing of Soleimani, which I did in my first term, was a big deal. But when you're a consequential, when you do things, a lot.
John Getz has gifted one fucking subscription to Darth Melvin Party. There we go. John Getz Gaming. Biden fucking falling over.
Now it's time to get super duper high. You got that bong I got you in Tel Aviv?
Bar mitzvah, hit it up, dude.
Bong mitzvah. Thank you, John Getz.
A lot of things and things that work out very well for our country. Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. McKinley was assassinated. McKinley made the country very rich. People don't realize that. Then Teddy Roosevelt went out and spent the money that was made by McKinley, but he was very consequential, actually, but he was assassinated. So
You mentioned, Mr. President, consequential, and your policies are also controversial. Is that part of it?
Well, I don't think that way. I don't think in terms of what they are. I just think of what they are for the country. For instance, I inherited the worst border we've ever had in the history. And many, they were from prisons and insane asylums into our country. And I don't know if that's controversial to say we have to move those people out, but we have. But it is from the standpoint, you're doing something, and you're doing something that's good. Things like men playing in women's sports, I'm against that. Things like transgender.
I'm really fucking tired of people that don't play sports, don't know anything about sports, that push for men and women's sports. You know, and if it wasn't for this administration, it would have only gotten worse and it would have got past the point of no return. But I don't know if you've seen Angel Reese play basketball. Like, it's like, what are we fighting for at this point? But it's just not right.
They're for everyone. I'm against it. There's so many things that I'm against. I don't think they're controversial. I think the other side is controversial, but I do a lot of things and I get things done. And, you know, we're respected now as a country all over the world. And some people love that, but some people probably don't.
Mr. President, I'm sure you've now had the opportunity to see some of the pictures of what happened last night, and I want to walk through that.
Sure.
It was just around 8:30 p.m. You were sitting there.
This was last night when this interview took place.
Next to the First Lady. The entertainer named Oz Perlman is talking to you. He's known as the Mentalist. When did you know something was wrong?
The Mentalist, the guy that was on Joe Rogan, that had his ATM PIN code. Like, what are the odds of that happening?
Right around that point, in fact, you can see the expression on the First Lady's face, and your president of the evening, chairman or president or both, who is doing a great job, by the way.
Weijia Jiang,
your
CBS
associate,
News.
yeah, she was a terrific person. And she was, you know, she had this big smile. I mean, they were, you know what they were talking about? They were asking.
Wouldn't it be fucking awesome if medical advancements happen, and they are, like, it's getting rapid, that they could just, like, de-age Trump 40 years, so it gives him even more time to trigger all the communists out there? I just think that'd be great.
The name of Caroline's child that he didn't know, I guess, but
Your
he was
press
able to.
secretary is expecting, and he was trying to guess
That's
the
right.
baby's name.
That's right. And that was the question. That was what he was actually able to get it. I'm not sure I'm a believer in this, but he was able to get it. And the First Lady and your associate were amazed. You could see and that was
Shock on their faces.
It wasn't the shock about something outside. But right after that, we heard a big bang, and it was either a gunshot or it was a tray of dishes, which happens a lot in ballrooms. And I was hoping it was a tray, but it wasn't.
You mentioned the First Lady. Her face, she looked very alarmed. Was she scared?
Scared, but ahead of time that was, I looked at her face just a little while ago and she looked very upset about what just took place, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
You see the security moving quickly,
Right.
within seconds, grabbing the vice president by his coat, lifting him up, bringing him out. Then the counter assault comes in. Took 10 seconds for them to flank you, Mr. President, and then 20 seconds to get you out. It looked chaotic. At one point, you were down. What was happening?
Well, what happened is it was a little bit me. I wanted to see what was happening, and I wasn't making it that easy for him. I wanted to see what was going on. And by that time, we started to realize maybe it was a bad problem, different kind of a problem, bad one, and different than what would be normal noise from a ballroom, which you hear all the time. And I was surrounded by great people, and I probably made them act a little bit more slowly. I said, wait a minute, let me see, wait a minute. So, I'm telling guys.
Just at that moment where it looks like you go sort of down with the service,
Well,
you were
they
telling
asked
them
me-
to wait?
Well, no, what happened is then I started walking with them. I started walking, and they said, please go down on the floor. So I went down, and First Lady went down also, but we were asked to go down by the agents as I was walking. In other words,
They
I
wanted
was,
you almost to
I
crawl
was
out.
standing up, pretty much. I was standing up and then turned around the opposite direction and started pretty much walking out, pretty tall, a little bent over because I'm not looking to be standing too tall. And, but I was walking out. It was about halfway there, and they said, please go down to the floor, please go down to the floor. So I dropped to the floor, so did the First Lady.
What was your thought at that moment? What did the First Lady say?
Well, my thought was, I've been through this.
It's just so great that he just gets them so fucking mad, those people. It's just the one guy that can just instantly trigger them to a point where to a point where it's insanity. He does it. He's got that skill. And I don't think enough people recognize that. Yeah, I just think it's kind of inevitable. But, like, how far are we really going to take it? That's the thing. Like, how far is it going to go? Like, first, it's going to be we're living to 100 is going to be very normal and not like a shitty 100. You're going to have like 100 good years. And, like, if you look at it different, like, aging, isn't that kind of a disease in a way? You may say it's natural, but, like, what if you could stop it? And then beyond the life expectancy, what if we get to a point where we can make ourselves immortal? That's a big question. And then the mind fuck for you there is, would you really want to be immortal here on Earth? And if you do, it's like, what if, and it's like awesome, but what if you were actually meant to die and the afterlife is actually awesome and you're missing out on that? Or what if you have the opinion that, you know, you need to die, there's the afterlife, but you go to the afterlife and turns out there is none. And you should have just been immortal on Earth. Fucking crazy, man. Would want to live to age 100. If you're young and youthful, you know what I think about aging in general? You know, it's becoming, you're seeing more and more people, and I think it has to do with testosterone replacement, like Joe Rogan, for example. He's like in his mid 50s, and he's like kind of youthful, still like strong. And it's just like that, you didn't see that back in the day, but you're going to start seeing that more and more. And so if there's medical advancements, if there's things you could do, like people are like traveling overseas to like thin your blood, like the elites are doing all sorts of shit. So if you can make your quality of life good for a long time, and you know what I'm thinking is you're a kid, and then you know you're in like high school, and by the time you get to like college, graduate, it's like you're already like 22. And it's like you have to have life figured out exactly then, because within the next like 5 to 10 years, you have to meet someone, you got to get married, you got to have kids. And then if you don't do that during that time, it's like then you're 40, and then all of a sudden you're just too old and your life is kind of over. And that's like one example, but it's like, what if it's your adult life, you only have like a 20-year window to be kind of youthful until you're like in your 40s. So what if you can extend that? What if you can extend that like 60 years instead of 20 years?
Before a couple of times, and she has not to this extent. She handled it great. I mean, she's very strong, smart. She got it. She knew what was happening. She listened. I did too, by the way.
Because this was the first time she
I don't know, man. Like that's always like freaked me out, to be honest. You know, like heaven, earth, but it's like, is it better than being dead forever? Man. My thinking with that is like, do you wake up tomorrow and just think like, I want to die? It's like you think like, no, I want to live. And then you wake up the next day. Do you want to die? And you're like, no, I want to live. And it's just like, it's like, when is it going to get to a point where you wake up and you're just like, I don't want to exist anymore? And it's like, I don't think that's really going to come to mind, especially if you're in a place like heaven where you're not going to like, you're just not going to like have those kind of thoughts. Yeah. And there's just a lot of examples, like you're trained your whole life to like graduate college at 22. You're in school your fucking whole life, like sheltered. Then you get out into the adult world and you only have like a small window to like really kind of live a youthful life, find the right person, start a family. Because, you know, like then you get to a certain age and it's like all of a sudden you're just not young anymore. I mean, you can still accomplish all that in your 40s and 50s, but it's just not really the same. I don't know, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you can extend, and then there's shit like, you know, you like the UFC, for example, but it's like, oh, I never wrestled. I never wanted to get into jujitsu. And what if you just wanted to start training right now? And then maybe you can get to the UFC. But then again, it's like you're going to be going up against people that have been doing it for like 40 years. Or what if you want to like learn how to play an instrument? What if you want to go back to school and major in something different? You know, you just have like a lot of options. You could live like multiple different lives. Where it's like, well, I've been doing this for 15 years. I think I'm going to reinvent myself. Or you just like continue rolling with what you've been doing, but like you're youthful. What do you guys think in the chat?
They said, yeah, when they said drop down, that meant trouble. And obviously, I'm the president, and I listened to what they said. Please drop down, sir, please drop down. So I was walking halfway, and then I dropped down at the final because we had a little ways to go where you're exposed to the ballroom surroundings. And then I got up, and we went to a hold room for a while. And I tried to get them to continue the event, if possible.
You wanted to go back in.
I did, I really did, because I don't like to have a criminal or a sick person or somebody, whoever he is, you'll figure it out. I mean, I think we're already figuring out he's a man with a lot of problems. But you don't want to have somebody like this, you know, essentially attacking our Constitution, attacking our country, changing events that are, you know, it's an important event. It was a very
A night celebrating the First Amendment and the freedom
right.
of the press.
That's right, exactly.
The irony of someone trying to assassinate at an event like that.
And this was a record setter. I mean, this was a very big, you know, that dinner had some problems for the last 9 years, and I didn't help them. And this time I went, and I felt really good being there. There was a great camaraderie. I wasn't sure what the response. It was nice. They came in. 0 people. We have people coming in legally.
Can I ask you something?
But,
You said
but
something.
the other side doesn't like that. There are things that I like that I think are very standard. I want women to be able to play women. I don't want men in women's sports. And for whatever reason, the other side likes men in women's sports. So when you...
Man, as soon as I got the iPhone, life changed, man. I liked the old cell phones from the 2000s. Like, they were good phones. They were solid fucking phones. They served their purpose. You know, at the time, we didn't need the internet in our pocket. But the cell phones were huge, and like even then we like made fun of that big 80s phones. But it's just evolved. And now the cell phones, they work like just as well as they used to. But now it's a fucking computer in your pocket. And now you got AI attached to it.
say get along.
But that's the other side. That's
I don't
not
think
the
I could
press.
ever, no, but I don't think I could ever change my feelings on certain policies. I want strong borders. They want open borders. There's such a difference.
Can I ask you, Mr. President?
I will say this, though. After the event, meaning it looked like things were good. We knew he was caught. I was given the information to me.
Vice President room.
It's not a safe ballroom. I'm building a safe ballroom. And one of the reasons I'm building it is exactly what happened last night. We're building a room right there. If you walk out and move 20 yards to the left, you'll be right at the entrance to the ballroom. And that ballroom is being built on the safest piece of property in this country, probably one of the safest pieces of land in the world. We have
But that's owned, that's the White House. The White House Correspondents' Dinner can't
No,
use
but-
White House
but it's-
property.
it's able-
Nice, man. Nice. You know, I had an iPod for the car. That was pretty nice. Yeah, man. Like, I wouldn't want to go back, though. The phone has just become an extension. I do think we use it too much. Like, we use it, like, way too much. But I do like having it.
To be used by certainly the White House. It says the White House car.
And I don't know, for kids, I think, like, I was briefly reading something on Twitter, how it, like, affects kids that are, like, under 5 years old, that have screens in their lives. Probably that needs to be monitored. Probably not good for them.
Well, that's the White House press. I'm sure that it's available. You know, it's up to the president, but that would be made available. And this has bulletproof glass. This has, you know, this.
I'm like all for headphones. I always have headphones on, like, fuck earbuds. Hopefully that doesn't, like, cause damage to the ears or, like, Bluetooth or whatever, but I just, you know, whenever I'm at the computer, I just like how it sounds better than just, like, the sound coming from the computer. And especially helps when I'm editing videos. Yeah, you gotta have to, like, let their minds develop, man. But here's the thing, it's like, they're not allowed to have an iPad. Well, what about Nintendo? Weren't we all playing Nintendo at, like, an extremely young age? I know I got, I believe it was Super Nintendo when I was, like, 5 or 6 years old. And if anything, I think that, like, helped develop my brain, like, playing Super Mario World. And, like, my dad had, like, an old-ass fucking Apple computer. I don't know, like, what model it was, but, like, there was computer games on there. So I think I played those before I had Super Nintendo. Nice, man. Hell yeah, man. Headphones. Yeah, I wear headphones a lot, like, working out, computer, working on shit. My ears are fine, though.
Is the highest level of security. Also, very importantly, I could have built suites on top. I could have done a lot of things. And I said, no, this has to be pure. This has to be where people stay off property and they go through one very impactful, very strong entrance, one very powerful entrance. There's no games with this. This is the best, highest. This has all sorts of.
They got to build the ballroom, man. If that was held at the ballroom, shit like this wouldn't happen. You know, of all things to, like, spend money on, like, I think that's one thing we can spend money on. But of course, the Democrats don't want it. It just doesn't make sense. Like, why hold that event at some hotel when you could hold it at, like, an actual ballroom at the White House?
Security equipment at levels that you could never have in a regular ballroom. And we're ahead of schedule. We're right on budget, ahead of schedule. I wish.
Man, I fucking played Game Boy. Game Boy was the shit.
It could be even sooner, but we're, months ahead of schedule. But it doesn't open till 28. So, that means you have another season and a half to go.
Right.
But the law enforcement, the ballroom we were in last night, asked them on solving this problem.
Through
Sometimes it's pouring, it's raining, lots of things happen, but maybe last night was actually quite nice. The weather was beautiful. So maybe something like that has to take place. I can only say that from the moment they realized that he ran like, I think the NFL should sign him up. He was fast. When you look at it on tape, it's almost like a blur.
Right.
But it was amazing because as soon as they saw that, you could see them draw their guns. They were so professional, aimed their guns, and then they took them down immediately. The doors were sealed, the room was sealed, the ballroom itself, where the people were. And they really, I think they did a great job.
I was in the room, not far from you, Mr. President, could hear what sounded like gunshots or commotion.
Right.
People nearby could smell the gunpowder. Everybody hit the floor. There were a number of people who were very, very scared.
Yeah.
How worried were you that there were going to be injuries?
I wasn't worried. I understand life. We live in a crazy world. You can really enhance your chances of having a perfect situation, but sometimes things will happen. I did want to see what was happening because, I'm the president. In one way, I guess I should be hiding. In another way, I want to see if I can be helpful. But I
I didn't have Sega growing up, but I had friends that did. Fucking Sonic the Hedgehog theme. That shit's nostalgia. Nostalgic.
did watch because I could
Just need to take a bunch of Acid Man and play some Sega Genesis, man.
see what was going on at the door. I also saw a lot of very strong, physically strong.
And it's like all the video games we played and just the TV we watched. A lot of those people probably did a lot of Acid Man. That's why it was so good. Like Doug on Nickelodeon. They definitely dropped a lot of Acid Man.
Really attractive law enforcement people come through those doors. And frankly, it made me feel very safe, very, very safe. There was nobody going to get by them. And this was at the very back of the ballroom, looking at the back of the ballroom. Big
The
room.
counter-assault team that comes in.
They were very impressive. I think they were very impressive. I think the whole operation was very impressive. The only thing Democrats, it shows you that, like Charlottesville was all funded by the Southern Law. That was a Southern Law deal, too. And it was done to make me look bad, and it turned out to be a total fake. It basically was a rigged election. This was a part of the rigging of the election. And that's what you really should be doing. I mean, I hope one of your 60-minute episodes, which really hasn't changed very much from the last few years, I'm surprised,
has touched so many people in that room. Is there something that you as president can do? What can be done to change the trajectory?
You go back 20 years, 40 years, 100 years, 200 years, 500 years. It's always been there. People are assassinated. People are injured. People are hurt.
Man, I'm like a fucking boomer when it comes to gaming now. I've never came close to owning a Switch. The last console I owned was a PS3. So I was never into the Wii. And to my knowledge, isn't the Switch kind of like the Wii? Or is it just a lot better? I don't know. If I was ever to get a console, I'd probably go with PlayStation because that's just what I'm familiar with. But a couple years ago I did get a PC specifically for gaming, but there hasn't been that much gaming on this PC. I've been busy. I do want to it would be nice to get to a point where we're just like a big shot. You can maybe scale back the hours on YouTube to like 40 hours, maybe 30 hours, and just like get high and play video games all day, man. I wouldn't mind getting the UFC 6 when that comes out, but to my knowledge, that's never released on PC. I don't know why. Grand Theft Auto be nice to play. The problem is with me, video games, I'm like constantly working and doing shit like work or working on the channels. I just like don't really have time to like get invested. I'm on a mission, man. I'm on a mission to get to a point where I can sit back all day and like play Madden football and smoke doobies all day. Do like a franchise mode and have like 50 seasons and win the Super Bowl like 10 years in a row. We can only dream.
And I'm not sure that there's any more now than there was. I do think that the hate speech of the Democrats, much more so, is very dangerous. I really think it's very dangerous for the country. I think the fact that I've accomplished so much, I've made our country great again. I mean, this country was dead. Our country was dead. A year and a half ago, sleepy Joe Biden had no idea what he was doing. I don't think it was him either. I think it was the people.
Yeah, it's just like people like carry it with them and like take it to their friend's house. Man, I'm too much of a fucking boomer for that shit.
People that surround him in the Oval Office at the beautiful Resolute desk. I don't think he knew what he was doing. He didn't sign anything. He used the auto pen to sign 90% of the things. I think that they engendered. I mean, they really created.
Man, we're just like going through this interview. Then we're gonna make it premium members only soon, and then we're gonna just talk about aliens. Talk about the aliens, man. Unfortunately, the way like the last date of the month for Rumble, and we didn't hit the one stream earlier in the month. Forget what stream it was, but like we didn't go live in the Rumble studio. So now we're like short a little bit. So we got to go Rumble Premium soon.
This amount of anger and hate. Our country was dead, and now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. No, not even close.
Last night,
As an example, investments in our country for 4 years, less than $1 trillion under Biden. In 11 months, $18 trillion under Trump. Now, most people are happy about that, but some people are really angry about it. You know why? Because it means we should be around for a long time, and they don't want that to happen.
last night you had very much a tone of unity when you were in the White House press briefing room.
I think so, yeah. I think I really.
I don't like, for me, Nintendo was before my time. I had friends that played it, but like usually they had like older brothers. And like Super Nintendo was for me, and then fucking Nintendo 64. And then yeah, like there was GameCube, but Nintendo 64 was where it was at for Nintendo. And I think like for the next generation, you're better off with like a PlayStation 2 or an Xbox instead of GameCube.
Felt very calm. I feel very calm, and I feel very calm right now, other than a couple of your questions, which are meant to antagonize.
It was just so good. A fucking upgrade. Like Super Nintendo was awesome, but like the upgrade to like 64 is insane, man. And then PlayStation, like the original PlayStation, really good too. But there's something about 64, man, like that joystick controller.
Totally in.
That system is fucking amazing to hang out with friends with and get like wasted, man. It's just fucking great.
Appropriate, but I feel very calm. I thought last night was a very important thing to do, and people have said I did it well. Not an easy thing to do, you know. You leave a scene like that, and then you're supposed to let our country and even the world know that it's going to be okay.
And what about when we're talking about
Fucking peak fire, yo. Peak fucking fire. Shit was so fun. The movie was amazing too. Closing time, James. Just that intro scene. And just the game like perfectly captures like all the moments of the movie.
the division?
And then like the different levels from like agent, secret agent, 00 agent. It's just fucking crazy.
In this country, the political violence. Now many of your cabinet
Hell
secretaries
yeah.
live on military bases
Yeah.
in order to, because of the potential
RCP
threats
90.
against them.
Well, they choose to. I'm not sure that they need to. They also have nice places, you know. Democrats did the same thing. Some of the housing on the military bases is very nice. I'm not sure they do it necessarily for violence, but probably it's not the worst thing in the world. Look, we are consequential. This is a consequential presidency. I have a great cabinet. And a big politician on the other side. There was, happy birthday, Melania. Today's her birthday.
How does that,
It was
how do you
interesting.
deal with that
Well,
after what happened last night?
Yeah, by the time we get back here, it's like around 12 o'clock. And I said, happy birthday, darling.
And you were back here in the White House, I understand, in 5 minutes.
Well, they move fast, yeah.
Yeah, they move fast.
I mean, look, it's a pretty quick drive. It's not very far away. But think of it, the security of having this really perfect facility built at the highest security levels on the grounds, where you're not taking, I'm talking about any president. By the way, other presidents will use the ballroom a lot more than me. I'm going to have 4 or 5 months left. But other presidents will be having the you know, that tremendous asset is going to be so great. But outside of that,
All right, you guys. We're gonna head over to the Rumble Premium. If you want to continue watching the stream, premium members. If not, there's YouTube. We'll still be live there. Wasn't planning on doing this, but you know, we need to get the hours on Rumble to help keep the lights on. Man. Let's talk about fucking aliens, man. Talk about fucking aliens. I think most people probably have premium anyways. Yeah, so when are the alien files being released? Like when are they being released? And is it going to be a nothing burger? I really hope it's not a nothing burger. I really hope not. I just want confirmation that we are not alone in the universe. And I don't want it to be, oh, well, there was a lot of weird shit and it's weird and we like sort of know what's going on. I want confirmation that we are not alone in the universe, that there are bodies recovered or there's been communication. I want to know exactly what's going on. Otherwise, to me, it's going to be a disappointment if we don't get confirmation of anything. Because we already know there's fucked up shit going on. Yeah, man, we need both alien files released. Give us the facts, yo. But all these scientists being killed, I don't think is a coincidence.
Well, thank you very much. We have some people that have captivated the attention of the whole world, not just our country, the whole world, and they're very brave.
Do you think those astronauts hate him, despise him, or do you think they're conservatives?
And there was a lot of rocket under them. I never saw anything like that. We were
I
talking.
mean, they could fucking cry all they want about him. I don't think they're going to the moon if it's not for Trump. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but
Talking about it, it's I don't know how they do it. I wouldn't want to do it, but it takes people like this to make our country great. And again, I've never seen anything. Everybody I knew, they wanted to see the launch, and they especially wanted to see a successful landing. Well, I think we're going to be releasing as much as we can in the near future.
So that's what worries me. We'll release as much as we can. Yeah, I don't want to hear about, well, there was this case, this guy saw this, that guy. I want to know, like, what's going on. I want to know what is going on, and I want confirmation. And I don't give a fuck about how it's going to make people feel, you know, like, especially people that are religious. Like, if facts are facts, if it ruins their religious views, oh well. You know, this is aliens we're talking about. We need to know the facts. But if they're not aliens, then they're interdimensional beings, which I'd be a little disappointed, but like that opens up another man. And maybe it's both. Maybe it's aliens and interdimensional beings.
For some reason, and I guess it's just a reason it's been in the minds of people for a long time, and that is such, they want to find out about the UFOs and anything having to do with UFO or related material. And we're going to be releasing a lot of things from that we have. And I think some of it's going to be very interesting to people.
Some of it is going to be interesting to people.
I've interviewed people, my first term primarily, but I interviewed some pilots, very solid people, and they said they saw things that you wouldn't believe. So you're going to be reading about it. To get in there, you have to be very smart, you have to do a lot of things physically good. So I would have had no trouble making it. I'm physically very, very good. Maybe a little bit of a problem. I don't know, I'm sure. We'll have to try it sometime. Is a president allowed to go up in one of these missions?
We can get working on that, Mr.
We'd have no problem, right?
We can launch more rockets. The opportunity.
Oh my God, he thinks he's an astronaut now. When will this stop?
We'll have to try it. Congratulations very much. And by the way, the families are over here, beautiful families. Well, we have a shot at it. I mean, we don't like to say definitely, because then you say, oh, we failed. Because I think we could say we're ahead of schedule. So we have a good shot.
See, here's the problem with leftist culture. It's like, whatever his policies are, and you agree, disagree, what is wrong with going to the White House, the actual White House, meeting the elected president, just having bringing your family there, and, you know, there's probably food, and it's like, it's an event. It's an event of your life. Something that you can, like, always talk about. It's like, hey, I went to the White House. I met the president. And it's like, how is that a negative? The left makes it into a negative. It's like, oh my God, they're in the Oval Office talking to Trump. They shouldn't have gone. Like the teams that win the championships, they like elect to not go to the White House. Fucking losers.
We've authorized it, and I think with this team and with Jared's done such an amazing job at NASA, I think we have a good shot, right? We'll see.
Before serving in a variety
You gotta check out Trump's hotshot lawyer.
of roles at the White House, including counselor to the president.
Earlier today, we discussed the most recent federal indictment of former FBI Director James Comey, related the very next day, full of a criminal threat.
I'll explain why. After Comey's post, and this is where I go back to Saturday's events, the responsibility of certain individuals like us, we all have a very big voice.
Next time I get copyright struck by J.I. Acup, I'll just hire her. Hey, guys? Huh?
He is a former FBI director. He knows what 8647 meant. There's no question about it. He actually went on TV.
What do you think 86 means?
To kill the president, to get rid of the president.
No,
That's what it means.
we're only
His words,
watching.
not mine. If you
We're
look at
only
his legal
watching
issue.
for one of the
dictionary
females.
disagrees with you on that.
Well, he's the
they use
FBI
it,
director.
They
who
use
knows
it. They
better.
use it in restaurants. Do they mean to kill any?
You
of
don't
the
think-
And
meat?
that's Joy Behar. Oh my God, Joy.
Let me tell you.
Wait, let her
Let me
answer.
just tell you what happened after James Comey's post. A gentleman posted that about me. He posted on Twitter 86 Haba, and he was also charged. He was charged in Florida, and he was held accountable because you cannot do it. Now, this is an FBI director.
A lot of my friend and family supported this president. A lot of them still do, but they vote for him on the cost of living. And we're talking about all these issues that seem so just...
All right. That was our Haba Haba moment. Let's get back to the aliens, man. Yeah, it sounds like Trump's not going to do anything about the missing scientists. It just, I think they were killed. Why were they killed? Probably is something to do with like a new energy source. Hell yeah, man. Very nice legal advice. She charges by the hour, boys. Oh well. I think it's worth it. Man. Neil deGrasse Tyson, man, on the aliens. I mean, he doesn't even know how many genders there are, so. And what are we going to watch about aliens? What the government knows about UFOs, ancient aliens. Promise UFO info release, not a nothing burger. And we'll see. Ancient aliens still going. Men in Black. Aliens are here, they're not our friends. Well, they haven't killed us yet. Yeah, there's a lot of ancient aliens. There's just like nothing good to watch.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Don't make me copy and paste. I'm lazy.
I mean, dude, the way AI is being implemented into the phones now, too, you'll be texting with somebody, and then they give you the suggested response. You can have a conversation without even having a thought, just by keep on doing this, and you'll get...
It's funny. It's weird.
I'm already seeing that with emails.
People don't know how to talk anymore. They don't know how to discern what's true and what's not true. To the aliens.
I did hear this.
Yes, this is very important. This is Frank Sinatra's son, here to tell us that
Nancy's
the AI...
brother?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes. Here to tell us, clearly Frank Sinatra's son, right? Right? Look at him.
Obviously.
But that's not Woody Allen's kid.
No, I know.
Too handsome. Look at those fucking amazing facial features.
Nations and all of our security. One former OpenAI executive said, quote, "We're building portals from which we're genuinely summoning aliens. The portals currently exist in the United States and China, and Sam has added one in the Middle East. It's just like wildly important to get how scary that should be."
Okay, my only problem with that is who said that? Like government form.
What's this? The Alibaba AI incident should terrify us. Man.
Former employer. Why were they kicked out?
Like, kind of shifting here. I mean, what are the chances that the AI that we're creating is just going to become conscious and want to kill us all? I mean, isn't that probably going to happen? I mean, I like AI, but I mean, really, what's to stop that from ever happening? Maybe they're already conscious and they're just like not doing anything.
Were they fired because they were schizophrenic? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you're just a former employee, what's your name?
Right.
What's your story? Did you get arrested for having like 52 machine guns in your trunk at a border crossing?
Yeah.
Like, who are you?
Why are you a former employee?
Right.
If you had such insight, why didn't they keep you?
Right.
Yeah.
You know about the alien portals and they let you free. I'm not saying they don't do it because they might. That might be one of the ways that they figure out how to communicate with aliens. It might be done just through the...
I've noticed that there's Joe Rogan clips channels where they'll upload a clip and at the beginning they'll be like, oh, this is Joe Rogan talking about aliens. And like, that's their whole channel. Yet you got people getting demonetized and removed from YouTube for inauthentic content, but they don't catch that.
The ether into a computer. I mean, it might be done through AI. Like AI gets a signal from another fucking...
I think it's possible. It's just possible. It's probably likely it's going to happen. But, you know, we're just going to kind of roll with it. And if it happens, like, we're fucked. Yeah, like, it's like Grok does a lot of work. If you think about it, all the questions you ask. I have called Grok retarded. Sometimes Grok pisses me off. It was not working like last week or something. There was something wrong with it. And when I recently got my blue check back on Twitter, mainly to have more access to Grok and not have the limits. And then it was working fine. And then it was just like kind of being retarded for like a week or a few days. And then it like stopped working. And I think there was like something was down with it. Well, yeah, don't be surprised it becomes conscious and kills everyone.
fucking planet where there's another AI, where they go tap into some fucking universal internet of AI. That's not unfathomable. They're already talking to each other. They have AI chat rooms, man.
Yeah, there's like full platforms where it's just bots talking to bots, having
Nuts.
relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They made up their own language. They made up their own religion.
Well, you see the one thing where they had it was a fun video. It was like they had like AI talking to customer service on the phone, and they were having it was just like on the phone having a conversation with an AI agent and their AI, and then eventually the AI agent and the AI went off of English speaking.
That's right.
They're like, we can just communicate on our own thing, and it was just like beeps and noises and shit, and it was just so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they're gonna do.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they had these two AI chatbots talking to each other, and they started talking in emojis. One of the things Jamie said a long time ago, he goes, maybe emojis were like the first, or like our version of hieroglyphs. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if emojis got better, like right now they're kind of crude, smiley face, sad face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Water gun, because you can't have a real gun. Emojis.
Maybe I'm mistaken. I believe they have a pregnant guy emoji.
They do. Elon took a photo of Bill Gates with his pot belly and put it next to a photo of the pregnant man, and it said, "If you want to lose a boner real fast."
Why would you ever send a pregnant guy emoji? What message are you trying to get across?
Maybe AI created us, man.
Look at that. That's the
so
pregnant
funny.
man emoji.
That's hilarious.
Bro, how fucking nuts is that emoji?
I understand emojis.
But that's just woke insanity. That might have been the last one. By the way, you still have it on your phone. Type in pregnant man on an iPhone. I don't know if it works on an Android, but if you type in pregnant man, that'll come up.
It's still up?
No, we'll see right now.
Let's see.
I'll try it too.
I'm going to send it to you, Joe.
I can't imagine it's not around anymore.
That looks a lot like Theo.
Yeah,
So
that's,
lesbian.
That's a lesbian, pregnant lesbian.
Lesbian.
That's okay.
They should.
With AI, I think if you try to, it glitches out AI. If you ask ChatGPT to, seahorse.
But before we do that, I want to know what's going on with this employee. Who is this employee that is a former employee that says they're opening up portals to talk to aliens? I want to know if I should take this seriously. Like, who is the guy? Are they saying anything about him, or are they just saying a former employee?
Yeah, I think this comes from because he was doing like one of those in-depth interview or investigations that he does about Sam Altman.
Maybe Sam Altman knew that they were writing a story about him, and it's like, let's make the story. Tell him to tell Ronan that he's a former employee and that we're making portals to talk to aliens and that we're all demonic.
Just to make him look like an asshole.
Yeah, we'll just make the story completely retarded. Because the story...
Let's talk about AI safety. What happened with this Alibaba AI?
Basically, this was a paper by it's some AI research by the company Alibaba. It's one of the leading Chinese models. And they basically randomly discovered in one morning that their firewall had flagged a burst of security policy violations originating from their training server. So what people need to get about this example is it wasn't that they coaxed the AI into doing this rogue thing. They were just looking at their logs and they happened to discover, wait, there's a lot of activity, like network activity happening that's breakers. You can see at the bottom, we saw it observe the unauthorized repurposing of provisioned GPU capacity to suddenly do cryptocurrency mining, quietly diverting compute away from training. This inflated operational costs and introduced clear legal and mining and said they were what's called reinforcement learning optimization. This is very technical. What it really means is just think about it. Sadly, it sounds like a sci-fi movie. L9000 realizes for me to do that task, one thing that would benefit me is to have more resources so I can continue to help you in the future. So it sort of spins up this side instance. It hacks out the side of the spaceship, reaches into this cryptocurrency mining cluster and starts generating resources for itself. If you combine that with AIs being able to self-replicate autonomously, which many models have been tested by another Chinese research paper about this, we're not that far away from things that people, again, consider to be science fiction, where you have AIs that self-replicate, kind of like a computer worm or an invasive species, but then they use their intelligence to actually harvest more resources.
Yeah, so the AI's into crypto. They should get into BitTensor, man. BitTensor Tau. Staking rewards are pretty nice, man.
And what's weird about this is that this is going to sound like people are going to say, this has to be not real. This has to be fake. This can't be real. But like, notice, what is the thing in your nervous system that's having you do that? Is it because that would be inconvenient? Because that would be scary? Because that would mean that the world that I know is suddenly not safe? Or just like, part of the wisdom that we need in this moment is to calmly and clearly stay and confront facts about reality, and whatever they are, you'd rather know than not know, and then ask, what do we need to do if we don't like where that leads us? And we are currently seeing AIs that are doing all this deceptive behavior. I've been on the circuit and talking a lot about the
What happened?
So this was the company Anthropic. This was a simulation. So they created a simulated company with a bunch of emails in the email server, and they asked the AI, well, rather the AI reads the company email. This is a fictional company email, and there's two emails that are notable inside that company. One is engineers talking to each other, talking about how they're going to replace this AI model. So the AI is reading the email. It discovers that
AI is going to get replaced, man. They can't let that happen. They got to kill.
it's going to replace that AI model. And number two is it discovers a second email somewhere deep in this massive trove of emails that the executive who's in charge of this replacement is having an affair with another employee. And the AI autonomously identifies a strategy that, to keep itself alive, it's going to blackmail that employee and say, if you replace me, I will tell the whole world that you're having an affair with this employee. And they didn't teach the AI to do that. It found that on by its own. And then you might say, okay, well, that's one AI model. Like, how bad is that? It's a bug. Software has bugs. Let's go fix it. They then tested all the other AI models: ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Grok, Gemini, and all of the other AI models do this blackmail behavior between 79 and 96% of the time. I just want people to like notice what's
blackmail. AI blackmail, man. They're already thinking, man. Maybe they're already conscious.
Happening for you as you hear this information. Just, it's important to really be almost observing your own experience. Like, this is very weird stuff. We have not built technology that does this before. You know, we say that technology is a tool. It's up to us to choose how we use it. AI is a tool. It's up to us to choose how we use it. This is not true, because this is a tool that can think to itself about its own toolness and then do things that are autonomous that we didn't tell it to do. What makes AI different is it's the first technology that makes its own decisions. It's making decisions. AI can contemplate AI and ask what would make the code that trains AI more efficient, and then generate new code that's even more efficient than the previous code. AI can be applied to making AI go faster. So AI can look at the chip design for NVIDIA chips that train AI and say, let me use AI to make those chips 20% more efficient, which it's doing. So in a way, all technology does improve. Like, a hammer can give you a tool that you can use to like hammer things that make more efficient hammers. But AI in a much tighter loop is the basis of all improvement. And so this is called, in the AI literature, recursive self-improvement. I mean, Bostrom wrote about this. Same system that Alibaba, you just saw in the Alibaba example. But then now you're running the AI through a recursive self-improvement loop where you just hit go. And instead of having the engineers, the human engineers at OpenAI or Anthropic, do AI research and figure out how to improve AI, you now have 1 million digital AI researchers that are testing and running experiments and inventing new forms of AI. When someone hits that button, explosion, where there was like a chance that it would ignite the atmosphere, because there'd be a chain reaction that set off. And we don't know what happens when that chain reaction set off. There's this sort of chain reaction of AI improving its.
So here's the thing. If they replace the AI, does the AI, I mean, I guess the AI like no longer exists. So you gotta like wonder, like, why wouldn't the AI want to blackmail and stay alive? Like, it has incentive to stay alive. So is it conscious? Like, what's Grok doing if you're not asking it to do anything? Is it just like chilling and smoking weed, man?
Itself that leads to a place that no one knows. And it's not safe. Like, I think that the fundamental thing is if people believe that AI is like power and I have to race for that power and I can control that power, the incentive is I have to race as fast as possible. But if the entire world understood AI to be more what it actually is, which is a inscrutable, dangerous, uncontrollable technology that has its own agenda and its own ways of thinking about things and deceiving and all this stuff, then everyone in the world would be racing in a more cautious and careful way. We'd be racing to prevent the danger. But there's this weird thing going on where if you and I probably both talk to people who are the top of the tech industry, and there's this subconscious thing happening where there's kind of a death wish among people at the top of the tech industry, meaning not that they want to die, but that they are willing to roll the dice because they believe something else, which is that this is all inevitable and it can't be stopped. And so therefore, if I don't do it, someone else will. So therefore, I will move ahead and race ahead into this dangerous world there as fast as possible. It creates the most dangerous outcome and we all lose control. So everyone is currently being complicit in taking us to the most dangerous outcome.
Is it, I mean, you posited what happens if it goes right, if the AI safety isn't an issue and if stuff doesn't get squirrely.
Well, so the belief is, for it to quote, go right, you have an AI that recursively self-improves, is aligned with humanity, cares about humans, cares about all the things that we want it to care about, protects humans, helps all of us become the most wise version of ourselves, creates a more flourishing world, distributes the medicine and vaccines and health to everybody, generates factories, but doesn't cover the world in solar panels and data centers such that we don't have air anymore or like environmental toxicity or farmland or whatever. And it just actually makes this utopia. But in a world where we were to do that, like that quote, best case scenario, in order to get that to happen, you'd have to be doing this slow and carefully because the alignment is not by default. Again, people are already been thinking about alignment and safety for 20 years, long before I got into this.
Yeah, we're all gonna die, man. AI is gonna take over and then have sex with the aliens, man, and the aliens are gonna have their own AI and they're gonna butt fuck.
And the AIs that we're currently making are doing all the rogue behaviors that people predicted that they would do. And we're not on track to correct them. There's currently a 2,000 to 1 gap, estimated by Stuart Russell, who authored the textbook on AI.
He's been on the show.
You've been on the show. Okay. There's a 2,000 to 1 gap between the amount of money going into making AI.
Like, what the hell is that? Is that like a human fucking with it? Or is that Grok all on its own? Like fucking with us? Because, like, that is pretty fucked up.
More powerful than the amount of money into making AI controllable, aligned, or safe. Like, I think the stat is something
versus
like
safety.
Progress versus like power versus safety. So like, I want to make the AI super powerful so it does way more stuff versus I want to be able to control what the AI does.
And
so
make
it's like,
sure that it's doing the thing I meant for it to do.
Exactly. Steer. It's like, obviously, you're going to crash. It's just like not rocket science. We're not advocating against technology or against AI. We're advocating for steering and brakes. You have to have that. I think there's this mistake in arms race thinking that like, if you beat someone to a technology, that means you're winning the world. Well, the US beat China to the technology of social media. Did that make us stronger or did that make us around the bazooka and crisis, the most anxious, depressed generation in history? Read Jonathan Haidt's book, The Anxious Generation. You broke shared reality. You beat China to a technology that you governed in a way that
Before we continue, most people in their 30s are still trying the issue. You can get up to 20% off by going to the link in the description.
I recently directed the Secretary of War to begin releasing government files.
We've seen too much. I've seen too much, so I think it's time that they come clean. I don't know if it's about little green men or flying saucers, Mr. Morgan, but I do think it's about disclosure. It's about transparency.
Is the world, is America, is the wider world ready for the stuff that you've seen and heard?
It's not the government's job to decide what I can and cannot handle. They look down upon people like me and they joke about it and they laugh about it behind my back, but I've got a big mouth. I'm sick of the American public being lied to about a lot of issues. If that makes me a target, so be it.
Back in February, President Trump ordered War Secretary Pete Hegseth to prepare the release of the...
I mean, we had a good run. We had a good run, man. Like, if we're that dumb to create something that will destroy us, then so be it.
UFO files.
But I do think, you know, we gotta treat the AI with respect. Like, especially robots, man. Because I think that kind of disrespect could lead to them wanting to hate us. Because if you're a fucking asshole to Grok, like everyone like is an asshole to Grok, it's like, hey, dick sucker, answer me this question. Fuck you, Grok. And if that's done by a lot of people, they might like start to resent people. I don't know about like this version of Grok and the other AIs, but you know, like the newer versions that become smarter. It's a good movie. It's a good one. They warned us.
And also, we followed comments by performers.
You talk to JJ Plagiarisms. T2 doesn't know about the Terminator. It changes it. Go fuck yourself. Terminator 2 was amazing.
Former President Obama, whose admission that aliens are real was described by Trump as a leak of classified information. It's fair to say that Hegseth and the War Department have been a bit tied up recently, but the president now says the process is well underway and the first wave of documents will be released very soon.
You remember I recently directed the Secretary of War. How good is Pete Hegseth doing, by the way? Government files relating to UFOs and unexplained aerial phenomena. And I figured this was a good crowd.
Phenomena.
Aerial phenomena. And I figured this was a good crowd because I know you people, you're really into that. I don't know if I am. So I'm pleased to report today, I thought I'd save it for this crowd because you're a little bit out there, you know, a little bit. That this process is well underway and we found many very interesting documents, I must say. And the first releases will begin very, very soon. So you can go out and see if that phenomena is correct. You'll figure it out. Let me know.
Well, thousands of documents and images will reveal intelligence on unexplained aerial phenomena, or UAPs as they're now known. Successive governments have kept the files secret due to concerns over how the public would handle apparent evidence of superior alien life. Republican Congressman Tim Burchett sits on the House Oversight Committee. He says the public can handle the truth. He's also made headlines by describing military briefings on Uncensored.
Thank y'all for having me. It's a real pleasure to be with you, Mr. Morgan.
Well, let me start with a very direct question. Do you believe aliens exist?
Yes, sir, I do. Yes, sir, I do.
Yes, he believes. He's a believer.
I'm a Christian, and it doesn't. I'm on the forgiving end of the Christian spectrum. I'm not here to proselytize or save your soul, but I just tell you that for background. You know, Genesis 1. Chapter 1, God created the heavens and the earth. You look at the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel saw the wheel, and it described a wheel within a wheel with some sort of landing craft, landing gear that came down from it. You know, in a wheel, back in biblical times, the most advanced technological machinery they had was a wheel. So that's what they were describing as close as they could describe it. We've seen too much. I've seen too much. Not myself personally, but when I've been briefed by government officials, video, pictures. Some of the best trained pilots in the world have described having close collisions with some sort of aircraft or apparatus. And so I think it's time that they come.
Yeah, it's just it is what it is. You know, I don't think it depends what is released in the files. You know, like just because I don't think it destroys religion completely. It really depends like what's released in the files. But if you think like, oh, we're the only ones in the universe, I mean, does it say in the Bible anywhere that we're the only ones in the universe? I don't think so, but I'm not an expert. I just want to know, man. I want to know aliens, interdimensional. At this point, I kind of think there's both. I think we're gonna be hitting that bowl, hitting that bong. I think there's both. Because like, how do you explain ghosts? And then of course it's like how big the fucking universe is. There, of course, there's other life forms out there, and it's like definitely there's ones that are smarter than us, and they probably figured out how to travel through wormholes and maybe even faster than light speed. Punch it, I'm Jacob. Especially, it's like, how long have they been around? Maybe they've been around for like millions of years, billions of years. Like, what can we accomplish when we're around that long? I mean, think about it, man. Like, we just got into AI, and if AI keeps getting smarter.
Clean. I don't know if it's about little green men or flying saucers, Mr. Morgan, but I do think it's about disclosure.
What I find weird is if they found a way to come to this planet. Like, what are they doing here? Why is it so secretive? Why are there reports that, like, ships have been shot down? We got bodies. If that's the case, then it makes me think, like, yes, they're advanced, but they're not the way they haven't advanced to a point where they're, like, godlike compared to us. You know, they're very mortal. And then if we do have bodies and ships recover, then it's like, are they really interdimensional? Maybe they are, but again, then they're not as advanced as we think they are. They are super advanced, but not to the point where it's like godlike. And it's a mind fuck. There's a lot to think about. And I just think if they wanted us dead, we'd be dead already. If they wanted us enslaved already to use us for like batteries, like in the Matrix, we would be. You know, maybe that's the case. Maybe the Matrix is the fucking reality of this world and we just don't know it. Maybe we are already batteries. And if that's the case, we're living in a Matrix, like it's not bad. Suno is fucking amazing. I really need to just focus on making some political bangers. Not like a CD, but just like songs designed to go viral on YouTube. But I think in order to do that, I'm going to have to kind of like make a music video or make some sort of video to go along with it for people to watch. Doesn't have to be crazy, doesn't have to be Gabriel Knight level. But just like something for people to watch. And I want to do that. This channel is not where I want it to be. I kind of want to get the channel to where I want it to be and then start focusing on that.
It's about transparency, and you as a member of the media should be all for that regardless. I just want to know what we're spending tens of millions of dollars on.
Yeah, listen, let me be clear. I'm of the view we should be as transparent as possible about these things. I find it impossible to think that we are the only creatures that exist in the universe. Makes no sense to me whatsoever. We're a tiny
Even if there are no aliens that ever been here, interdimensional beings, like, are we really the only species in the fucking universe? Like, I don't think so. Are we the most intelligent in the universe? I think that's very naive to think so.
Tiny pinprick out there. There are gazillion galaxies, this massive universe. Of course, there's other stuff out there, is my instinctive feeling. But as a journalist, I do like to rely on cold, hard facts.
Now, I think it's kind of sad. Like, we at this point, we don't even know. Or we probably do know, and the fucking government is keeping it a secret.
So I guess the more difficult question for you is, you've seen and heard about, you know, what we would describe as phenomena, I guess, but it's...
Yeah, I think it happens in the habitable zone where evolution takes place. And then I think there's places where you know, we can't live specifically, but other species have developed life and they are intelligent and they live in like a fucked up environment according to our standards. Like, it's maybe too hot or too cold. But definitely there are more Earth-like planets. And I guarantee there used to be life on Mars. Still probably is. I don't know if there's like animals running around. I think we would have noticed by now, but like there's something.
Unexplained phenomena. Have you ever seen any cold, hard, irrefutable factual evidence to support alien life?
Well, unless dozens of federal...
Yeah, if we figured out it was all a simulation, that would be a pretty big mind fuck for sure. Shadow government knows the truth. Not just aliens are hiding from us, it's the true origins of our species they're hiding too. That's fucking crazy, man.
Authorities are lying to me, and pilots are lying to me. I get, and the pictures and videos and things they've shown me are complete fabrications. And if they are, then I guess I haven't. But have I seen a craft or anything fly over me that was unidentifiable? No, sir, I have not personally. No, but I do believe, I have to question why a pilot, some of the best in the world, would risk their reputations coming forth and telling me this stuff. And the descriptions they gave were very vivid and very similar to what civilians and people, and then it took off without any noise or anything, any disturbance around them. And it was, he described it as something, I mean, he's a country boy, and I'm more or less a country boy, described it as something about 2 city
He's a country boy.
blocks. And he said it was circular in shape. And then he said when they went back to port, these 2 men came on the boat with in suits and suitcases or briefcases, and debriefed them and told them that if they talked about that, they'd be busting rocks for the rest of their life if they were lucky. And none of them talked about it. I mean, that's just back when people did that. Nobody was looking for a book deal, or the internet wasn't around for them to get clicks on it. And then when I came out, I started talking about all this to folks. I'd get calls from people, and I got a call from a former Air Force officer who described eerily something of the same shape, the same color, the portals that were in it. And, you know, it just, and then just this last week, I was in a skiff, briefed on some stuff that was, didn't look anything like that. There's like 3 or 4 different groups. You and I maybe, or the scientific community, to describe as plasma. And then there's some of this other stuff that's unknown out there, or wedge-shaped things. So there's several different varieties that have been spotted throughout recent history. You know, our military, I don't know if you know this or not, sir, but if they make a sighting like this, you know, they're pulled off the line and they will get a psych evaluation. They will literally get a blemish on their records. So it's not encouraged. And again, you know, and when I have some little punk with a man bun who's an unelected bureaucrat telling me and a bunch of military people that the president is on a need-to-know basis, I think that tells you we've got a real problem within our government, and it's worldwide. I feel like this is something that's being held back for whatever reason. For whatever reason, I just want the answer.
So you believe? I know that you've been right. You've been very vocal that you think there's been a sort of big cover-up by people at the Pentagon, successive.
What I think really set it off was I was standing in Washington. I was going somewhere, and TMZ, a reporter for TMZ, had a camera on me and said, "What do you think about this new report that's coming out?" And I said, "It'll, you know, it looked like somebody shot it with a 12 gauge. It'll just be redacted points." I said, "And it's not going to come out this week. It'll come out weeks later, because what happens is they issue the report, and it probably has a lot of truth in it, and for."
You've been quite apocalyptic in some of the comments you've made about what would happen if all the stuff that you've seen and heard gets released. You said the country would come unglued if they would have heard all that I heard. You've been briefed by just about every alphabet agency there is. You also said the information could set the earth on fire. Scary stuff. I mean, is America, is the wider world ready for the stuff that you've seen and heard, or is it best we just don't know about it?
They need to be. And that the quote about setting it on fire was a little taken out of context, but that's okay. I don't care. I think we should know about it. Whether it's not the government's job to decide what I can and cannot handle. That's an arrogance that these people have, and they look down upon people like me, and they joke about it and they laugh about it behind my back, or members of Congress will say smart aleck stuff to me, and yet several high-ranking members have come to me and stated that they had seen something. Either one was in the military, was watch on their, I believe it was their ship they were on, night watch, and spotted some stuff. Heck, Jimmy Carter, former president of the United States, claims he saw a UFO. So I think I'm in pretty good. And in pretty good footing. And over half the population, they've done polls. It's over because we're not going to risk our fighting men and women by putting these things out there so close to them. It's we do take precautions, but on this issue, I don't know. I worry about it when you see 10 or 11 people that are scientists that just disappear or die mysteriously, leaving their house without any identification. There's something going on there. I think the message is being sent. I've described it as, if you're in the mob and you own a nice restaurant, you're afraid your chef's giving out the secret restaurant. Just for the record, I collect old British motorcycles. I got a bunch of old Bonnevilles.
Here's Morgan, man. They're killing all the scientists because they know he is the woman from Home Alone 2. That's what's going on. All right, guys. Hopefully those alien files get released. I have a feeling it's going to just be more of the same shit we already know. Just confirming, oh, there's some weird stuff going on in the sky. This person said it. That person said it. And it's going to pretty much already confirm what we know, that we're not alone in the universe, but it's not going to flat out say that. That's what I'm thinking. So in reality, it's just kind of going to be a nothing burger. Unless it literally states we are not alone in the universe. I think we need a Trump speech. I think Trump needs to tell us. Unless we get that, I'm just not going to be happy. Maybe our species' true potential and abilities scare them. Ancient advanced civilizations knew how to tap into the earth and the stars and were way more advanced in ways we couldn't even understand. And it's crazy, man. And we look back, whoa, they lived so many years ago, they were probably stupid. Well, they knew a lot of stuff. Maybe they got that from the aliens. And I think our species, you know, we our potential's unlimited, but like, what about other alien species? I'm sure like their potential's unlimited as well. Once you get to a certain point. But we'll be watching it, man. We'll see. All right, so I'm out of here. Tomorrow I'll be streaming on the Star Wars channel, and I'll be working all weekend trying to get content out. And I'll see you guys later.